Hey, what's up everyone? As you can tell, today's video is going to be about removing and reinstalling the ECU from my 2001 996 Turbo. So the reason I'm removing the ECU in the first place is so that I can send it off to DJ Markski at Markski Tuning to have a MAFless tune installed on it. It's got a lot of great reviews, and with his awesome deal on Black Friday, I couldn't turn down the opportunity to have him set me up for such a reasonable price. So thanks to him for that. I'll throw his link down below in case anybody has any questions. So again, the reason why I'm pulling the ECU out is so I can send it to him to have a MAFless tune done, and it's because I originally was trying to find out exactly if my car had a tune already, and because it already has headers, it already has exhaust, it already had an intake, so I thought maybe it must have a tune possibly. DJ Markski sent me a file to use with my Durametric cable, so my car indeed does have a tune already. I don't know by who. My guess is EVOMS, but I'm not 100% certain because it's got an EVOMS intake. But it's having some issues at about 1 bar of boost. What's happening is it's throwing a hot MAF film sensor. It can be reset and it drives fine, and everything up to and including normal boost up to like 0.6, 0.7 bar is normal, but when I really get on it up to about 1, it throws that error. Markski Tuning looked at it, and he determined that there is something goofy happening with my tune at around 1.0. So he in turn is going to throw the MAFless tune on it, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to pull this thing, and then I'm going to mail it to him. He's gonna bench it for about a day, send it back, and then I'll install it, and we'll see how it does. Okay, per the instructions, a few things we're going to need to do the job are a 30mm Torx, which we have right here, 6mm hex or Allen wrench, we got that there, 10mm wrench, and possibly a 10mm socket. Okay, a few words of advice. Well, I guess you have to understand the car to understand why you would need to do this, but the car has an electronic release for the front trunk. So what happens is there's a little switch down by the driver's side door panel that you would just you hit the button and it pops the hood. Well, if you disconnect the battery, then you lose that ability to do that. There is a fail-safe where you can connect a car battery to the fuse box. It's made to do that. It's in the instruction manual, but it's a pain. And so in order to prevent yourself from disconnecting the battery to do this project, or any project for that matter, and finding yourself locked out of your trunk because you removed power from it and the trunk's closed, I'm going to put a rag over the latching mechanism anyway, because I don't like putting the weight on my struts for days at a time. Some people will say you don't need to disconnect the battery. Some will say you do need to disconnect the battery. I'm a disconnect the battery kind of person because I don't like the remaining electrons being shot through my car, and especially if I'm removing the brains of my car. I don't want anything to interfere with that. So I will remove the negative and the positive. I'll put a rag over my battery so there's no chance that something will touch my terminals and cause any kind of a short of any kind. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, it's entirely up to you if you want to do that, but I will. Okay, just gonna give you a quick look. Okay, so we got the hood open, and now I will go ahead and take a rag, and I'm just gonna set a rag right. In fact, I'll just do 2 rags right over the latch to prevent that from latching shut on me. The battery is right under this cover. We'll get to that in just a second, and I'll show you how we're going to take that off. As you can see in my car, the seats are forward as far as they will go mechanically. Inside the car, so the seat is laid down on that side. I'll do this side here in just a sec. The ECU, I believe, will sit right under that side of that. My car does not have a Bose speaker system in it, so I don't think that should be an issue at all. One more piece of advice: if you're going to do this for any reason, do it on a crappy day, because now I get to look outside and see it's all nice and my car is going to be immobile. But oh well, I guess it'll be worth it once I get my new tune back in it. Okay, so to remove the battery cover, you can see that there are these little retaining clips right here on the cover, and what you do is you just turn them sideways like 90 degrees or parallel to this front piece of foam, and you just pull up like that. Okay, there's the battery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the negative terminal, which is on the driver's side. Easy to tell because it's connected to nothing but this bolt right here on the front of the car. So I'll remove that one, and then I will remove the positive. I'll leave the vent tube connected, but yeah, I'll just remove those two, and then the power will be removed from the car. All right, so removing the negative terminal from the battery. It's a 10mm. Ratty tatty, lefty loosey, right? There we go, it's removed. And I just noticed the front trunk light went out, which is a good thing. That means that I have removed power from the car, but we're gonna get this thing out of the way. And I'm just gonna go ahead and cover this. That'll prevent that terminal from getting anywhere near that post. And then we'll go to the positive side and I'll do the same thing. Okay, here we are on the positive side.
Same thing, this and that.
Cover the battery completely. And now that the rags are covering the latch and the battery, I'll go ahead and lower the hood just so that it's resting not on the struts. Okay, so we're in the back of the car now. It's a tight fit. It ain't fun, but well, maybe it's a little bit fun. Okay, so one of my seats is down. We're gonna put the other one down here in a second, and then we'll get to pulling out some of this carpet stuff. First things first, we're gonna try to pull out this this carpet panel here. Okay, I got the back part up. Now I believe the front has to bow up a little bit. There you have it. I just kind of bent up in the middle and it kind of popped right out. So it looks like it's just kind of a foam piece. You might want to be careful when you pull it out. I didn't have any issues, but I mean, it's tight and it's kind of bent in up under those parts of the leather right here. So you might want to be careful that you don't scratch up your car. Now here's what's next. We're going to remove that 10mm, that 10mm, and that 10mm. And when we do, this silver panel should be able to be flipped over as the ECU cover. ECU is kind of down underneath there. So we'll pull that out. Okay, the 3 bolts are removed on the ECU panel. So now we'll go ahead and try to lift this thing up and flip it over. Just try to get this little piece, if you can see it, right back behind there. This thing uncovered from that carpet. I don't think it's gonna be too big of a deal. Let's see. A lot easier than it looked. Yeah, you just push this carpet back a little bit and it lets this little piece come out so you can lift it up and over. But that's pretty easy. Then you just flip this, I believe, over. Let's take a look. Yep, just like that. Just rotate it right over. And there it is. It sits right there. Remove the cables, and the way the cables come off, as if you look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of them. We're gonna take off the outer ones first, 1 and 5, and those are just push. Those are just little push tabs. You pinch them and pull. And then these other ones are little rotating tabs, and I'll, as I pull them off, I'll show you how that goes. I think for now I'm gonna go ahead and just remove these bolts. And they should be, if all else is true, 10s, and they are. Here's a better look at the cables. So I'll remove the number 1, which is this gray one. Then I'll come over here to number 5, which is the black one. And then I'll go with this number 2, 3, and 4. So number 1, power is removed from the car, so. There it is. All right, number 1 is out. Okay, number 1 and number 5 are out. I wanted to show you this because this is kind of neat. But there's a little button right here. You're gonna push that button in, and when you do, push that in, this part folds back, and then the connector, the harness, just pops right out like that. I'll do 3 and 4. ECU is out. There it is. I'm just gonna go ahead and flip this panel back over and set it back on here. And also I'm a creature of habit, so I will leave everything I've been using, which did not include this, and did not include this, and did not include that. So essentially you can do this whole job, at least if you have a car like mine, a 2001 996 turbo, with pretty much a socket and a ratchet. So that's what we're going to use. I'll put the other stuff away. I will now take this and I will mail it off to DJ Markski. I'll let him do his bench magic on it. Then we'll install it, and hopefully we'll have ourselves a pretty sweet running tuned up 911 turbo.